Genetic disorders are a rare but serious disease that affects many people. Most are still incurable today, like the disease Huntington's disease or progressive Huntington's disease. In fact, 5 out of 100,000 people have this disease. Join me today as we explore this disease. To learn more about this disease. How do you get Huntington's disease?
Huntington's disease is inherited from your parents. It is an autosomal dominant gene, meaning that it is a mutation within the sex cell gene. The HTT gene, also known as Huntington's gene, becomes mutated. Normally, this gene is responsible for the production of the CAG segment. This provides instructions for the brain.
There are 2 types of gene mutations. One is a chromosomal mutation. This mutation is when part of a chromosome is missing or there is an extra set. The second type of mutation is called a gene mutation. It affects the X and Y chromosomes. Even if there is one error that occurs while being copied, the gene could stop functioning correctly. This is the kind of mutation that occurs in Huntington's disease. So can children also get Huntington's disease, or is it just in adults?
Kids can get this disease. The side effects are usually a lot worse than if an adult had it.
So, how has your life been affected since you've gotten diagnosed with this disease?
I used to get straight A's. No, but now I don't do very well. So, because I can't concentrate.
Adults who get this disease usually live around 15 to 20 years, but kids who get this unfortunately live 5 to 10 years.
What age were you diagnosed with Huntington's disease?
I was diagnosed with this disease when I was 8 years old.
What is your age now?
I am 13 years old right now.
What are the side effects for having this disease?
Usually when people have this disease, they're usually very irritable, they get depressed, they have involuntary movements like jerking and twitching, they have poor coordination, trouble learning, making decisions, and as the disease progresses, these signs and symptoms get worse. Eventually it gets to the point where the person can't speak, they have trouble walking, they can't even swallow anymore.
What does this do to your brain exactly?
The cells are turned off in your brain, and your brain basically just slowly wastes away to the point where people can't even function anymore.
Oh, wow. So is there any cure for this disease?
This disease is deadly, and there's no known cure for it right now, unfortunately. But there is medicine for the twitching and the depression. There is medicine to help that, but other than that, your brain still wastes away.
Is there a certain ethnicity or religious group that gets this more commonly?
This disease is most common in Europeans. About 5 of every 100,000 people get this disease if you're European. It is less common in Japanese, Chinese, and Africans.
Can the disorder be detected before the symptoms occur?
This is a dominant trait, so if one of your parents had it, you most likely have it. But this is also one of the diseases tested for when you're a baby.
Thank you for joining us today while we learned more about Huntington's disease, the disease that kills many.
Also, one of the diseases tested for. Why are you so good? I mean, there's medicine for the symptoms that you can get. There's medicine that's like oh my god, that's medicine.
Before the symptoms occur? If so, how?
Adults who get this disease.
No, just say 15 at most.
15 at most.
Say it nicely.
15 at most. What am I saying?
I'm so sorry to hear that. It's terrible. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for tuning in on this episode that we learned more about. Oh, my voice. But pretend like you're talking. Tell me what you know.
Chinese, and African American.